After Ruusan, the Jedi thought the Sith were gone, extinct, wiped out once and for all. But the truth, the Sith were never gone. Thanks to Darth Bane's rule of two, they were hiding in plain sight. One master and one apprentice, whispering in the shadows, plotting for centuries while the Jedi let their guard down. And during the High Republic, when the Jedi reached their golden age, the Sith were already out there, moving pieces into place for the fall of the Republic. The High Republic, Jedi at their peak. 200 years before the movies, the galaxy entered what historians call the High Republic era. This was the Jedi at their absolute strongest. The Republic was expanding, peace was widespread, and Jedi weren't just warriors. They were explorers, diplomats, and protectors. They lit the way for civilization, literally calling themselves guardians of the light. But while the galaxy basked in golden light, the shadows were never gone. Sith Lords still existed. They had simply mastered the art of invisibility. For centuries, they worked in secrecy, making sure the Jedi never discovered them, feeding their knowledge into a hidden chain that stretched from Bane all the way to Sidious. Qimir, the stranger in the shadows. And recently, in the Acolyte, we finally saw proof that the Sith were still around during the High Republic. Enter Qimir, also known as the Stranger. A mysterious dark side warrior, Qimir is revealed as a Sith Lord hiding in the shadows, testing potential apprentices while keeping his true nature concealed. His very existence proves the rule of two was alive and well, even while the Jedi thought they had purged the dark side from the galaxy. Qimir embodies what makes this era terrifying. The Jedi are at their height, but they're blind. The Sith are right under their noses, pulling strings, making moves, preparing the way for their eventual return. It's the calm before the storm, the line of the hidden Sith. So who were the Sith during this time? Thanks to the rule of two, we know exactly how the lineage continued. After Darth Bane, the mantle passed through generations of masters and apprentices until we arrive at three key names: Tenebris, Venamis, and Plagueis. Darth Tenebrous, the Bith master. First, we have Darth Tenebrous. Unlike the warrior kings of old, Tenebris was cold, calculating, and scientific. He was a Bith, the same species as the band in Mos Eisley, but don't let that fool you. Tenebris wasn't playing music. He was playing with life itself. He specialized in mathematics, biology, and manipulation of midi-chlorians. To him, the Force wasn't mystical. It was an equation to be solved, hacked, and exploited. Tenebris believed in a future where the Sith could transcend death, not through faith or ritual, but through science. His obsession laid the foundation for his apprentice to go even further down that path. Darth Venamis, the secret apprentice. Now here's a twist. Tenebris, in classic Sith fashion, had not one but two apprentices. His official heir was Plagueis, but in secret, he also trained another, Darth Venamis. Venamis was intended as a backup plan, someone Tenebris could pit against Plagueis to test their strength. But when Plagueis discovered this betrayal, he did what any good Sith would do. He eliminated Venamis and cemented himself as the true successor. This little drama shows how the rule of two wasn't always clean. Masters cheated, apprentices plotted, but through betrayal, the line stayed strong. Only the most cunning and ruthless survived. Darth Plagueis, the manipulator of life. And that brings us to one of the most infamous Sith Lords in Star Wars, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yes, the same one Palpatine whispers about to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Plagueis was obsessed with immortality. Building on Tenebris's teachings, he experimented with midi-chlorians, the microscopic life forms that connect all beings to the Force. His goal was nothing less than the power to create life itself and to stop death. And according to legends, he actually succeeded. He learned to manipulate life energy so precisely that he could save others from dying. He could even, allegedly, generate life in the womb, which raises wild questions about Anakin Skywalker's mysterious birth. But for all his power, Plagueis made the classic Sith mistake. He trusted his apprentice. And that apprentice? Darth Sidious, the man who would become Emperor Palpatine. Plagueis taught Sidious everything, believing their partnership would unlock immortality. Instead, Sidious murdered him in his sleep. Just as Bane intended, the apprentice grew stronger than the master, and the chain continued. Why this era matters. The High Republic and Plagueis' time are the great blind spot in Star Wars history. To the Jedi, it was their golden age. To the Republic, it was peace. But in the shadows, the Sith perfected their patience. They weren't raising armies or building empires. They were refining their philosophy, generation by generation, until the perfect monster emerged. Palpatine. Without Tenebris' science, Venamis' rivalry, or Plagueis' obsession with life and death, Sidious would never have risen to power. And in the final stretch of this story, we'll see how Sidious takes everything the Sith ever learned, the patience of Bane, the science of Plagueis, the cruelty of the ancients, and turns it into the ultimate victory. The Republic falls, the Jedi are purged, and the Sith finally rule the galaxy, until of course they destroy themselves one last time. In the next chapter, Sidious, Vader, and the end of the Sith.